Here are the 6 most important laws from the art of seduction and how you can apply them in real life. I'm also going to be giving you guys all my book notes as a Playboy, the way that I interpreted the book, all my highlights, the chapter overviews for free. It's the first link in the description below. You can grab that now so you can have the entire book. But I'm going to be diving into the 6 most important things that you can take away from this and actually apply today. Now, this is arguably the most important part. Choose the right target. This is the first rule in the art of seduction. And I would 100% agree that this is so important. This starts with your cold approaches. I can't explain how many times I've gone up to girls and they are not interested in me at all. There is nothing that I can do that's going to change their mind and make them start to like me. It is nearly impossible and it is a waste of your time. So, I'll give you my general rule of thumb. I start with asking a girl her name. That's usually the first question I'll ask. There's times I switch it up, but it's normally, excuse me, what's your name? Where are you from? And do you work or go to school? If at this point, these 3 questions are just yielding one-word answers, they're barely asking the questions back, they're not engaged, I can tell that their nonverbal communication they're not excited to meet me, I move on. I leave it there. That's what I tell all my coaching clients to do as well. You should only be trying to find people who like you. Girls who like you and try or reciprocate that energy back. See, if a girl doesn't like you or reciprocate, move on. That's end of story. You don't need to waste your time, because the amount of girls who I've talked to who haven't been receptive to my approach is a lot, right? For whatever reason, who knows? I'm 5'7". Maybe they don't like short guys. Whatever it is, maybe I'm too small. Maybe my chest isn't big enough. They don't like me, and that's it. There's nothing I can do to change it. And you're wasting your time if you're not choosing the right girl to go after. So your focus is to find the girls who are receptive to your approach and vibe with you. If they don't, there's really no point. This is so important. You're wasting your time. It's so much better to find one girl who is receptive to your approach than try and force conversation with 10 girls. Take those 10 rejections, find the one who does like you, and take that conversation as far as it can go. Now, this one is one of my personal favorites for short-term seduction, getting a girl to come home with you that night type of thing, and that's enter their spirit. This is something that I do all of the time. So this is basically mirroring to build rapport and connect with people on a deeper level. This is something that you need to learn how to do, and the sooner you learn how to do this and actually apply it, the better your life's going to be. It takes a little bit of discipline because you want to just, always, it's hard to sometimes control your thoughts and the things that you want to say and your beliefs, values, and opinions because they're so deeply rooted in you. But if you could have the discipline to control that and not always say what you feel and say what someone wants to hear instead, this is going to make you very powerful as a person. So what you're basically doing when you're mirroring, if you're not familiar with this, is you're reflecting back their own tastes, values, and opinions. So this makes people feel deeply validated around people who think like them. Think about it when you're with your boys who have the same exact mindset. When you're around them, how do you feel? Do you feel nervous, anxious? Do you feel out of place? No, you probably feel very safe. You feel at home. It feels like a tribe, a community. You're very connected with those people. One of the things you want to do with girls is build that connection. The easiest way to do this is going to be to enter their spirit by mirroring them. And one thing you got to take into consideration too is this is a short-term move. This is not something you do over a very long-term basis. You can't do this. Entering their spirit is something you do to build that rapport quickly, but you should always be trying to get people to absorb your beliefs, values, and opinions in the long term. Entering their spirit's a short-term play. On the long term, you need to make people like you. Your girl should be a reflection of you. You should not be a reflection of your girl. So there's the only thing that I need to put on the board so that you understand. You should be slowly starting to shift her into basically a replica of you. And that is so important. Don't make the mistake of just blindly entering her spirit and being like her, and that's it for the rest of the time. No, this is just a way to build a connection very, very quickly. And this is just going to be how you reflect back her own taste, values, and opinions. And then you can let some of your own opinions and tastes and values come out over time. But you've already bonded and had that emotional connection. It's going to be a lot easier for you to shift and persuade her to yours over the long run, not right off the bat. That's one of the things I see people do all the time, and it's such a stupid move. You need to be very likable, very easygoing, and start to build that connection. Be someone who people want to be around, who they feel good in the presence of, and mirroring is that one key way to do this. I really love this next chapter, appear to be an object of desire. So in the book, it talks about creating triangles, basically pre-selection, where you have one girl chasing you, another girl that you're seeing, things like that, where there's like a love triangle. That's too advanced for most of you watching this. Most of you are not at that point, and it's not applicable to you right this second. So what can you actually do to be an object of desire? Well, 1, become the best, most attractive version of yourself. That's the first and most important thing. You got to think in your mind, am I someone, like actually take a second and think about this. Am I someone that girls want to fuck? You know, look at yourself. Do you have a great body? Do you have really good style? I'm kind of in gym clothes right now, but I normally dress up a little nicer. And, you know, are you just someone who is intelligent? Have you developed important character traits and skills that are going to allow you to actually be attractive to girls? Or are you just like my younger self, sitting in front of TV, playing video games, watching porn all day? If you're doing those things and you expect to get with the highest echelon of girls, there's a disconnect, right? So it's not just about attraction in terms of like your physical face, your body, your appearance, and your clothes. It's really about like mental too. Your mental and what's inside, right? Like we always joke about dumb blondes. You don't want to be a dumb guy. You want to be a very emotionally and socially intelligent guy. You want to have great levels of communication between verbal and nonverbal. You want to have high levels of courage. This is why everyone looks up to James Bond. Every guy, if you're being honest with yourself, likes James Bond and they want to be like him because he has all these character traits and skills developed. That's why James Bond is this attractive character that everyone wants to be like. It's not because he's the spy. It's because he's the spy with all those character traits, those skills. He can do anything. He's fearless. That's what everyone admires about James Bond. So it's not just about improving your looks. It's about improving your internal, your mental. Those are very important aspects. Now, another thing is achieve things that others want. Money, status, six-pack. If you have things, for example, let's just take it outside of dating. If you have a six-pack and you go to the gym and you're just ripped and you're a really in shape fit guy, and you're hanging, like you introduce yourself to other guys, they're naturally just going to respect you more than if you showed up to the gym 50, 100 pounds overweight. It's going to be much harder for you to make friends at the gym if you're 100 pounds overweight than if you're that in-shape guy with a six-pack and a nice chest and big shoulders. It's the same thing with girls. You need to be the guy that girls want. Just as guys want a girl with nice tits, a big ass, and a pretty face, you need to be the guy with big shoulders, a big back, big chest, six-pack. That's how you're going to get the girls. Money and status are two obvious ones because these are easily recognizable that everyone wants. So the more things that you have that other people want, the easier it's going to be for you to meet and date girls, network with high-level guys, just build the life that you want and be that object of desire. And lastly, this one you can do for free. So a lot of you guys might be like, oh, well, I got to really work. That's a long-term play. Yes, right? But short-term, always be happy. Always be seen having fun. If you're going to bars or clubs and you're sitting there like this in the corner leaning against a wall, no wonder no one wants to talk to you. But if you're at the bar, you know, you're happy, you have your drink in hand, you're talking to the people around you when you're grabbing your drink, you're always just smiling. A girl happens to glance over at you, see you being this social magnet, gives you that eye contact from the distance. You catch it, you hold it with her, you smile back, you go walk over and talk to her. That's what it's about, man. Object of desire, be happy, have fun. These are the things that you can do to really apply that chapter, and that's how I've been applying it in my life. And this next one is very powerful if you learn how to use it the right way. Mixing pleasure and pain. This is creating an emotional roller coaster, right? So instead of just always being the same level version of yourself, which is just like this, like, good morning, baby, good night, baby, or you're texting her throughout the day, whatever. If you can just like insinuate lows and then highs, you can kind of picture in your own mind what these might be, the lows and the highs. But you want to create some sort of emotional pain and then deliver some sort of emotional high where it's just like this roller coaster that gets people addicted. This sort of dopamine rush, this sort of mental stimulation is what people love. You got to understand that seduction is not a bad thing. There's not really right or wrong when it comes to seduction. This is more something that's going to drive results. So I'm not going to give you specifics on how you can do these things, but you got to understand that lows bring highs. When you have a low and then you have a high, and this works really well when you have a very deep emotional connection with someone, that's just going to be so powerful. That makes the highs so much better. Highs feel better when coming from a low. This is something that I've learned from sales. It's just a very powerful tool as a whole. You make someone feel the pain, right? Like, let's bring it to sales for a second. You make someone feel the pain of whatever it is that you're selling, what they don't have right now, what they're lacking, what life could be like. Boom. They feel the pain. You bring them to the high. Now, this is what your life can be like. You can have this, your life of your dreams. Boom, boom, boom. Low, high. They went from a low and now they're like, oh my God, I can be up here and this is what it feels like. They just went from pain to pleasure. And if you can learn to do this with relationships, it's very powerful as well. The next chapter we're going over is officially called Create a False Sense of Urgency. But who the fuck knows what that means? That is so complicated. So we're going to boil it down to approach indirectly. That's kind of the overall summary of this chapter. And at first I was like, this doesn't make sense. Don't use this, because it was giving examples of some guys first befriending girls and then turning to lovers, whatever. The art of seduction loves to use historical stories. But I interpret it in a couple different ways that we can actually apply in a much more effective way. And I actually do use this now that I was taking some time to think about it. Don't over communicate interest verbally off the bat. You can use your nonverbal communication, like your eyes, your smile, to build sexual tension, but you don't need to be being like going up to a girl, approaching her and saying, oh my God, you're the most beautiful girl I've ever met. What is your name? Like, that's fucked. Don't do that shit. So that's kind of the approach indirectly that I interpret it as, where I'm kind of going to girls with the qualify mindset. I'm trying to see, are they a cool person? Are they someone I actually vibe with? Is there anything there besides the beauty? So this is how I'm interpreting this chapter and how we can use it, especially in the modern day. And the next thing is let the sexual tension build naturally. You don't need to, once again, like verbally over communicate your interest or do anything too extraordinary. This is kind of that approach indirectly mindset where it's just like, you don't need to be so forward with all your intentions and all your feelings. You can try and build that mystery a little bit, use nonverbal communication instead of verbal, and this is going to be very powerful, I feel. This next chapter is very powerful. Send mixed signals. And humans don't appreciate what comes easy. I'm pretty sure you can see this in your own life. There's some examples. I'll give you one that's not even related to dating. So, when I started my sales academy business, the reason it was so great was because I failed at business 8 months prior, just failing, running out of money. I went into credit card debt, and then I started my sales academy business. First month made 8K. It was just the most amazing thing to ever happen to me. It was because there was struggle. It was because it didn't come easy. And when you're just being very coherent in your approach and how you're trying to, seduce a girl or get her to be your girlfriend, whatever it is, if you're just so coherent, always in her phone, always good morning, good night, baby, you never let there be any mystery, any chase on her part, you're just kind of coming across as boring, reliable, dependent, stable. And unfortunately, in today's day and age, this is going to turn most girls off and she's going to lose interest. But sending a little bit of mixed signals, being a little bit unavailable, things along those lines are going to make her chase you more. See, what you're doing is you're stimulating a girl's brain to make her want and chase you. This happens to us as well. I'm pretty sure there's a girl who you've talked to at some point who you were getting along with and then she started leaving you unopened. I have an example recently. I was talking to this girl on Snap for quite some time. I already slept with her. We developed quite a close relationship over Snap. We were talking over some time. She started recently just leaving me unopened for a day, then sending me a picture. Sometimes it was like a naked picture, just being very inconsistent. It was just, left unopened. Oh, naked picture. It's that low and that high, right? And you don't need to take it that extreme, but just being a little bit more unavailable, sending a little bit of mixed signals, being nice, being a little bit of mean. This is going to help you out. I'm promising you, doing these things will never hurt you. Don't take it too far, but being available and coherent all the time, just being there in her phone, always available to hang out, these are not going to help you. So you don't have to take it extreme like that example with what that girl was trying to do to me, but you can send a little bit of mixed signals and it's only going to help you out.